I wonder if there's a video game about sorting. Well, that's convenient.
Welcome, my dear viewer, to another video,
I'm 15.
and I will be analyzing the design choices of Boom Buster's demos today. So getting straight to the point, what is Boom Buster about? Well, the main idea stayed the same across all demos. An arcade-like platformer where a bomb couple saw a bomb stolen by a 200-year-old wizard wearing sneakers while traversing level gimmicks, grodies, and grabbing goodies. Ridiculously charming with inspiration from old cartoons that used to air on TV with an expressive art style and catchy music. This game was right up my alley when I first laid my eyes on it, and I've been in love with the world and characters ever since. I kinda like the magic guy. We'll look at that later. Before we light the fuse, let me introduce the studio, Tall Glass Games. They appeared on the radar when a demo appeared for the first game, Alien Xenocide. It was a small arcade-like platform with some spice of edge and charm to the premise. I enjoyed my time with it. It's like Donkey Kong if he was tinier and moved around blasting multiple Jumpmen. It showed a lot of potential for a demo, and even had a Kickstarter campaign behind it. It unfortunately flopped, but that wouldn't stop Tall Glass from creating and experimenting new ideas. After that bump in prototyping, Tall Glass had revealed their next project, Boom Buster. It got me and many other eyes interested with its premise, sorting bombs. The community on Discord was slowly growing steadily and received around 2 demos over the span of a year, all leading up to a complete rehaul of a demo for another shot at Kickstarter. And the Kickstarter campaign it was, securing around $71,541 for Boom Buster's development. I believe the Kickstarter demo has shown the full potential the game has, and I want to discuss how I got there through iterations of the public demos. We'll be looking at the majority of the changes, and I'll try my best to explain how mechanics improved on certain aspects while iterating upon the main gameplay loop. Well then, let's get started. The Nuclear Demo, the general public's first taste of the game that released around November of 2023. Let's see how the movement flows. Starting off with the tutorial, the first thing you learn is levels wrap around and you gotta get to the food. The second and third acts teach you the double jump and backflip, the backflip being the highest jump at your disposal, but locks you in a set arc. It can be escaped by dashing though. Speaking of, Act 4 showcases the dashing. In the air or on the ground, it'll always be a straight horizontal line. Act 5 teaches the spin, which is one of Buster's means of attacking and besides stomping, and finally, Act 6, the bombs. Sort the different colors into their respective types. Simply walking into bombs has Buster pick them up. He can only carry one color type at a time. Buster can only double jump while in the pickup state, dashing alongside backflipping is no longer possible, and spinning will have Buster drop bombs for a delivery. Or you could crouch to drop them comfortably on the ground instead. Now, let's see how the Kickstarter build does it. Right from the get-go, the level design and the tutorials acts are completely different from the Nuclear demo, with the first act teaching both jump and double jump. Levels no longer wrap around, and the double jump is significantly nerfed alongside a new animation suited for it. The double jump in Nuclear really felt like another leap you could do in midair, which made the backflip obsolete in most scenarios. Now, it's more for course correction finesse. Still useful, but you'll find yourself chaining other moves in tandem with double jumping instead of relying solely on it for reaching higher ground. The nerf of the double jump had changed the backflip into one of my most favorite moves to perform. The backflip works the same way in the previous demo as your highest jump, and was even fine-tuned a little. Buster can now move freely in a crouched state, making the backflip feel much better to control. A very subtle change, but it makes a huge difference in feel. In the Nuclear demo, when you crouch, you are locked in that position until you backflip or uncrouch. You can't even turn around in the crouch position. It's hard to notice this problem back in Nuclear, but playing the demos back to back, you really feel the improvement and it's hard to go back. Flip. Speaking of changed moves, dashing makes a return with no changes whatsoever. Make it across the gap and now try dashing on the ground. So, midair, a dash will always be a dash, but on the ground, it will now be a slide. Buster can squeeze through tight gaps and damage enemies by sliding. I'm a big sliding guy personally, bowling through multiple enemies. And hey, the main gameplay loop makes a return, carrying and sorting bombs. Now, one last difference I would like to mention about Buster's moveset. You can no longer drop bombs on the ground by crouching. Once you pick a bomb up, you're committing to sorting that bomb into its correct container. But Buster can now backflip, dash, double jump, slide, and spin for bomb delivery. Carrying bombs is now unrestricted with how Buster moves, massively improving the flow of the game with traversal, combat, and sorting. Player freedom and expression and movement is always something I loved seeing, and just seeing it in the bomb sorting game, it just works! It just works! Okay, that was quite a mouthful, but there's still one more act before wrapping up the Kickstarter's tutorial. Act 5, on the heads-up display there is a bar. This bar only fills up when you combo multiple bombs. Multiple. Once filled, you can activate Nuclear mode. In this state, Buster is invincible to everything and is a little faster until the meter is all used up. Don't try radiating yourself at home though, you'll probably just damage your DNA.
Well, with the main gameplay loop of getting treatment when hospitalized.
Let's discuss the main loop of sorting bombs when they're stolen by a wizard. Back to the nuclear demo. Every stage has around 3 acts that all wrap around, each with a set amount of bombs to sort out. Buster's girlfriend, Bridget, will drop bombs randomly onto the stage, indicating what color she'll drop in the top right corner. Sorting won't be that simple though. You'll have to traverse the layout of the act with occasional gimmicks and the wizard summoning his grodies to get you. To complete an act, sort all their bombs into their respective containers without losing all of your HP. You can see your progress using this handy dandy little indicator. What takes away your HP? Dropping bombs in the wrong spots, bombs exploding, and getting damaged by the grodies or the environment. To gain back your HP, you fill up a bar by simply sorting or defeating grodies. Not to be confused with the nuclear bar from the Kickstarter demo, this is the nuclear demos bar. I'll give you time to process that sentence. When filled up, a health pickup drops down from the sky. Still have full health? That's extra money for your score. You got all that? Good. Now that's the nuclear demos gameplay loop. Now let's speak of the improvements the Kickstarter gameplay loop provides. Acts in the Kickstarter build no longer wrap around. It's a simple change, but the acts became much more tighter and focused because of this. Speaking of that, let's discuss how mechanics are introduced, using Stage 1 as an example. Act 1 has its layout be very traversable by the simplest of movement options and slapping on the sorting mechanics. This act is easily clearable by only utilizing the double jump alone, helping to ease the player into the platforming and sorting. Act 2 on the other hand now has its level design force you to utilize the backflip by having an upper segment that's only reachable by backflip. By the time this act is complete, the player should be familiar with the backflip by now. Act 3 now has you utilizing the entirety of Buster's moveset by separating half the level with a tiny crevice that can only be cleared by waddling through or slipping through quickly by sliding. If this were the nuclear demo, a majority of players would most likely walk to the other side using the level wrap instead of utilizing the moveset at their disposal. By now, the player should sufficiently be comfortable with the slide and therefore the entirety of Buster's moveset. Oh yeah, also the act has the addition of the first enemies of the game, Lips. That's their official name, bash them any way you please, stomp, spin, or slide. The entirety of Stage 1 is a test of your basic mechanical understanding after the tutorial. Later stages throughout the demo will either introduce 1 or 2 gimmicks ramping up the difficulty, while combining and twisting them during later acts in ways that keeps the difficulty scaling interesting. I'm not explaining all the stages, go experience them for yourself in your own time. Can't you see I'm busy building an awesome tower? That's just the level design without wraps. Here's another significant change that made its way into the Kickstarter demo, the methods of spawning. Bomb and grody spawns in the nuclear demo were completely random. The goal at the end of the act is to sort a set amount of bombs, right? But the spawns aren't in control of the player. Well, learning through trial and error isn't going to help much when the timing and position of enemy and bomb spawns are different every retry. So players can blame the RNG skies for the shortcomings and failures in the video game. Although I'm gonna say that the main stages in this demo aren't really that hard, personally speaking. Now, the Kickstarter demo completely removes the random and has spawns be all on set times. Well, what changed this spring? I think add is a better word for it. Now stages and acts are more learnable. If you die midway through an act, the spawns will always stay consistent up until the point that you died. The player can better learn from slip-ups, and if they make the same mistakes again, that's on them, no longer the game. Speaking of spawns, there's also another addition making the gameplay loop much more engaging alongside adding quite a bit of replay value. Coins and food, also on set times. Coins will spawn periodically during gameplay and add to your score, but if uncollected will eventually disappear. Food items are similar to coins but are unique to each act within a stage. They provide a bigger reward but will only be there for a very small amount of time. The best part? Their placements are hilariously evil for a first run through of an act. While you juggle bombs and traverse the stage, they will be at the most inconvenient spots just out of your reach. They could be considered a main collectible, and honestly, I wouldn't mind if some content was locked behind a food requirement when the full game comes out. Maybe the in-game excuse is that Buster's too hungry to walk to the next stage. May I now mention another system that encourages replay value? High score chasing. This is where I put most of my time into. To recap a little on what gives extra scores, bashing grodies, coins, food, extra health at full health, and bomb combos. The first step when chasing high scores in an act is to master grabbing every coin and food, not taking damage till a health drop, biting grodies before they bite themselves, and not missing a single bomb drop. A really fun challenge on its own, and if you're a deranged psychopath who wants to push scores further, bomb comboing is the act of picking up multiple bombs and tossing in as many as possible in one single drop. The more bombs from a drop, the more money you get per bomb, incremented by 25 cents. A reminder that all of these bombs are on a timer. If one of them explodes, you miss out on its points, usually prompting an act restart for bigger scores. And that is risk and reward. But there's only one problem. Memorization. Let me explain. Everything's dropped on a set time, right?
So when waiting for bomb drops, you can optimize movement enough where you'll be waiting above a bomb container with a payload, waiting for another bomb for a bigger payout. But there is no last minute indicator before bombs explode. You cannot tell when exactly bombs explode. I think constant trial and error for improvement is fine, but this type, it's a bit too much. To optimize and find combo potential for the highest scores, you either must see and memorize what points during the act they explode, or learn the exact timing the bombs explode. Well, I memorized the points of the acts where they explode. So before Bridget pulls orange bomb number 10 out of the sack, that's when I should cash in the 4 orange bombs about to explode I'm carrying. This was fine with me for the shorter acts, but when you get to the later... Let's just say it takes a lot of patience to optimize an act score to the fullest. A single stage once took me around 2 hours to perfect, and guess what? Act 3 wasn't fully optimized just cause I was burned out with memorizing explosives. And then when I retry for a better score, I forget the points at which bombs explode and the cycle continues over again. Okay, now some positives. This isn't the first time the game has had problems with visual indicators. Back in the nuclear demo, enemy indicators had a similar issue with their smoke effects before spawn. While juggling the many obstacles the game throws at you, keeping track on how long the smoke's on screen is... yeah, they can pop out without warning. This was resolved in the Kickstarter build by adding another animation phase right before they spawn in. That was easy to react to them in time. And there is evidence that the devs experimented with more visual bomb indicators, and unused animation for the orange bomb. The main programmer Vinny stated that this was actually unused because of how thin the lines were, making it look a bit jarring in-game. We were going to make a new one, but got sidetracked and ended up forgetting. The final release will probably do something like that again. So, I'm pretty confident that the issue with bomb explosion indicators will not be a problem in the future. Also, another tiny suggestion as a high score nerd. I think seeing the individual high scores of acts when pausing would be nice. Cause I think this is the only platformer I've actually wrote down notes for besides Super Paper Mario. Where was this ever during my finals? Right, I almost forgot. The magical maniac himself, the Wizard! Moving on from the nuclear demo is the Christmas demo. Nothing changed much from the hop, but the demo came in with a couple new extra stages for the holiday season, alongside a beautiful mean green Beardo's appearance shaking things up for this demo. This mini-boss has the Wizard himself getting his hands dirty to stop the sorting. It's a neat mix-up to the gameplay loop. Throughout the acts, the Wizard will attempt different attacks such as lightning, fireballs, and enemy spawns. All the while, you're still sorting bombs into containers to blast them back out at the Wizard. There's a lot of personality on display with the Wizard's TV indicators, and the extra attacks to dodge add a nice spice of challenge and chaos to the stage. Eventually, the tussle on the mountaintop ends, and here you have one of my personal favorite level types that Boombuster offers. But what if I told you it gets even better? Once again, moving on to the Kickstarter demo, we get the same thing with a much tighter Wizard. Did I say that right? Tighter in design of the gameplay. Anyways, the focus of the mini-boss in this demo is to challenge your understanding of all the gimmicks a world introduces. Alongside, of course, dodging the magical mayhem that's going on around you. Speaking of, the jump to the Kickstarter demo made the random Wizard events linear and on set times, like most objects in the demo nowadays. This once again improves the flow and difficulty scaling wonderfully. The usual design of introducing the Wizard's different attacks in a controlled time, teaching the players the mechanics. There can also now be multiple combination of Wizard events appearing at the same time. I love this new light switch attack, if you can even call it an attack. And presentation-wise, for the final bomb in the last act, it won't be dropped instantly, but the Wizard's done with your games. The act revolves with just dodging and weaving through everything he throws at you as it starts to rain. My favorite bit, this bit right here, a wall of flame that says everything about how he feels about the bomb boy. He just wants him dead. Buster of course blows his headquarters up in self-defense.
I hate you. Your nose is big and you're orange.
Okay, well, he's cooling off. Let me yammer a little bit more. This is what you can do when events are linear and not random. You can set up like the difficulty and the ambience just amazingly, have them all flow together into this nice package, and it's just, this is why I love this mini-boss so much. It has a wizard, for crying out loud. And I think I've yapped enough about the main gameplay. Let's move on to the little micro changes, the little pinches of salt the devs added over time. In the Kickstarter demo, the content on store is basically the entirety of World 1. So every halfway mark through a world, the visuals change up. We have Boomtown here and the inner city there.
The inner city's got a background element that's literally just a giant Los Angeles dome.
It showcases advertisements and little gags, which is another consistent thing across the entire game. Every act has its own little personality and flair, whether it be graffiti, advertisements, or signs telling you how to backflip. It's just fun variety and charm that keeps the levels interesting to look at if you like paying close attention to the details. And also, going back to the dome, my favorite detail is during the Wizard mini-boss, where the dome displays images specific for the mini-boss. I am such a sucker for this guy's presentation and character. I gotta take my mind off of this guy for a bit. How about this guy, Goblin Jr.?
The way this Grody worked was its little spear and it taking 2 hits to kill.
I think you know what side you can't attack it from. It's pretty obvious by its design. It starts moving faster after the first hit, and after another blow, it will kill him. In the nuclear demo, you could easily change Stomps till he's a green paste, because after the first hit, he just kinda stands there in shock. But in the kick demo, he was changed to be knocked away on the first hit, increasing the challenge for this particular enemy. And finally, although not demo related, Buster and Bridget's designs have recently changed. They have pupils and uni goggles now. And I think these sketches shown off in the Discord had added so much more personality to the characters. They're much more fun to look at. The pupils allow a larger range for expressions too, like, look, this is also how I would look at cool bugs. Phew. And I think the design change is a good place to end off this session of Buster. Before I conclude, I want to thank Vinny, the main programmer behind Boom Buster and owner of Tall Glass, for answering questions I asked alongside providing me the Kickstarter demo a week early. Even though it was a long time ago, I still appreciate the gesture, and he was very friendly when it came to help on some of the points and answering my questions. I wish him and everyone behind Tall Glass nothing but the best of luck for the future. Although not discussed as in depth here, keep an eye out on the music and the artwork too.
I can't express enough how important these are to the game and how they boost my investment into this wacky world. All the animation extrudes personality and the music. Start up top of the rooftop. Wait, no! Well, thank you for watching me ramble about a video game demo I love, and have a wonderful rest of your day. See ya! Well, this wizard tower was a bust. Get it?